Adventure and connection are two things that are so important to me. And both of those things have been a little bit lacking in the last couple of years, as they have for so many of us. Now, I've been able to adventure closer to home and have had lots of time with close friends and family, but I've really been missing those bigger adventures and deeper connections with other entrepreneurs in person. So when the invitation came to go on an epic trip to Greenland with a group of amazing entrepreneurs, I jumped at the chance. I had just finished reading Shonda Rhimes' book, The Year of Yes, and it felt so deep in my soul. I felt it that I just had to take this opportunity to go on this amazing adventure. Now, the trip was with a group called Wayfinders, which is an amazing organization that creates epic adventure trips for entrepreneurs, where it's part adventure, community, and that deep connection to yourself. Now, was the timing ideal? No, but I thought if I don't take this opportunity, I will regret it for the rest of my life. Now, traveling during COVID wasn't necessarily the easiest thing. In all, I had 9 planes and multiple boat rides during this trip, but everybody stayed safe, nobody got sick, and we all got to enjoy an amazing trip together. So we stayed in this tiny village called Illuminac with a population of about 53 people, probably twice as many sled dogs. And we stayed in these tiny cabins on the cliff edge, overlooking the water, looking at these amazing icebergs floating out in the water. We stayed really close to an ice fjord that calves these magnificent icebergs, some of which make their way to Newfoundland in Canada, which is a fun fact I learned when I was there. And it was so phenomenal to see this space and to be in the Arctic Circle, to not see a tree for a whole week, and be on this amazing epic adventure with a group of like-minded entrepreneurs. The theme of the trip was authentic leadership, so every day we spent time digging into questions about what that means and having deep and powerful conversations with each other. Then we would go in these epic adventures with usually a baggie with 2 sandwiches in it. I've never eaten 2 sandwiches, but some of those days I did eat 2 sandwiches. And we had amazing adventures. And there were 3 real key takeaways for me from this trip. Although there were so many memorable things about it, I want to share with you 3 things that were truly memorable about this trip. The first thing I learned is that you are so much more capable of what you think you are. Now, this is something that I've known for many years, and I've talked about it before, but it was never truer than on this trip. I opened up my soul to this amazing group of people, and it created such deep and powerful connections. I pushed myself physically, long, challenging hikes, camping in a snowstorm, and freezing my butt off on a very long boat ride. It was hard, but also very rewarding. I took the time to breathe deeply and take in the beauty of where I was and connect to the earth in a new way. I had amazing conversations on these hikes, and also time alone to think and just be. I also tried a lot of new things. I ate muskox, seal blubber, and whale, just to name a few. Some things I liked, some things not so much. But I tried them and I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. I also jumped into freezing cold water in a survival suit, which I have to say was the most fun I think I've ever had. The second thing is that the ripple effect is powerful. Now, again, I've talked about the ripple effect for years, but sometimes we just need a reminder. And I definitely got a reminder on this trip. One of the days when we were camping, we had to go on a vision quest and find a spot alone and just be. And I found this spot, and being alone and not having something to do is not something I'm used to. So it was hard to settle in, but I finally did. And I sat and the sun was setting in front of me. It was beautiful. And then from down below me, somebody else started throwing rocks into the water. And I could hear them, and I was pretty pissed off at the time. I was like, oh, this is totally ruining things for me. But then as I looked out in the water, I saw the ripple effect. I saw the ripples in the water spreading. And I was like, oh, this is actually for me. And I really just sat there and I watched the ripples. And it reaffirmed to me how important the ripple effect is. I have this vision of helping millions of people, but sometimes that can feel daunting. But if I only were to think about today helping 10 people, knowing that those 10 people were going to help 10 people, and so on, it all feels so much more plausible and accessible and exciting. So it was such a gift for me to see this ripple and to be reminded that my actions, how I show up, how I treat people, the things I do in my life are an important part of the ripple effect that I want to create. And the last lesson is that fun is essential. As adults, I find we don't have as much fun anymore. That's something that the kids get to do. And why is that? There are so many responsibilities and things to do before the fun can be had. And on this trip, I had so much fun. I built a snowman on a glacier, and I couldn't tell you the last time I built a snowman without the prompting of my kids. We had snowball fights, we sang and we danced, and we sang Bohemian Rhapsody at 1:30 in the morning. We stayed up too late, we told dirty jokes, and we said yes to everything. Fun fills the soul. I saw how freeing it was to not take myself too seriously. I allowed myself to have fun and be fully present in each moment. What a gift to bring home. This trip was such a powerful reminder to me that by taking action, imperfect or otherwise, it can be a catalyst for others to think about their lives differently. The next time you get an opportunity, I encourage you to take it, to say yes, to take the leap and have that experience because it will open your eyes to something magical.